Sometimes it's snow, sometimes it's cold, but the one thing I know for sure, sparkling lights and women in tights, kissing under mistletoe. No, it's not far, but I know a bar where my friends can sing with me. Don't stay where you are, just jump in the car, have some tequila with me. I'll have tequila for Christmas, tequila under every tree. Pass a Patron and I'll stumble home. Tequila, Christmas and me. You can wrap presents, hang up your lights, grab garland all around the tree. I'll build a snowman and you grab a glass man and have some tequila with me. I'll have tequila for Christmas, tequila under every tree. Pass a Patron and I'll stumble home. Tequila, Christmas and me.
Welcome back to another Thirsty Thursday podcast. You like that little Christmas
it is coming.
Shout there?
It's coming.
I am your goddamn cousin Eddie. Shit. You guys took a little shot at me last week.
We did. You were gone, so we were fucking taking haymakers.
Oh yeah, it was fucking fire away, man.
Like, he's not here. Let's just talk about him.
Understandable though. I am back off of second shift.
That must be nice.
It is. It was kind of nice sleeping in until like 3:30 though. Well, I guess I was working overtime. I was going in at like 11:30 or noon. Sometimes.
Man, it seems like I kind of flip flopped this week because I just sent you a text and was like, "Man, I got to work late this week." I'm like, motherfucker. It's all good though.
Yeah, sucks. I guess that's. I don't know.
Yeah, it's money though. It's whatever.
It's the end of the year, and they
people want to get shit done, so their books are looking spectacular, you know.
Want a bunch of shit, want a bunch of shit done. So, yeah, man, we it was weird. It was weird listening to it and not being able to partake. I didn't like that part very much, but you know. So anyway,
this is episode 73. Sorry, I always interrupt you.
Christmas. Tequila under every tree. Every tree.
I'm probably going to have some tequila for Christmas as much as I've been listening to that song.
I know. I say Glenn is probably listening, I think. I think he listens to all of them. We need to get together sometime soon and just get fucking wasted on tequila.
Right. It'd be a good show, I'm sure.
Yeah. In the Christmas spirit.
Maybe we do like a live show or something during that.
There you go. I'm sure we probably get drunk and log into ICT radio and just make buffoons out of ourselves.
But I mean, that's the nice thing about it is we got the capabilities and nobody's going to stop us.
No shit. We are the powers that be.
For the first time.
Which is scary. Which is scary because I usually need somebody to control me, or it just gets out of fucking hand. Like,
well, I try to steer you, but it's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, but I end up getting you just as drunk and
yeah, you do.
God, the other night hanging out. Oh my God, dude. I drank
I
so
thought
much
I was
beer.
going to pass out or something.
I didn't realize how drunk I was getting. That fucking, all that free beer.
Oh, and that fucking a big ass Jaeger beer.
Oh yeah, that arrogant
That was
bastard
cool.
Jaeger. That shit. It was interesting. I won't say it was $20 for like a 20-ounce bottle of that. And I won't say that I'll pay that again, but
Right. It's not
it was
something I'd go out of my
interesting. It
way
was
for.
something. It was something that I absolutely wanted to try though. From the time I laid eyes on it, which was in the middle of fucking sober October.
Right. I forgot all about it until you reminded me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's fucking do it,
I
man."
don't even remember why I seen.
I can't believe they had it down the street. You know what I mean? But then again,
Right.
it's a great liquor store.
R&J, man. Shameless. Well, it's not shameless for me. Just a little plug to them favorite liquor store up there.
Maybe they should sponsor us or something.
I'm telling you, get a little money back out of that deal as much as I spend in there.
Right.
I haven't been so much lately since you started brewing beer, and
I know.
now there's kegs in the on hand, readily available. It's cut down.
You know, it's kind of nice, and then at the same time, like I'll still go out and buy like a 12-pack or something. You know, some regular beer just to kind of sip on or whatever.
Well, yeah, we had a cooler full of beer and still went and bought a $20 bottle of beer. So.
And it was hot too. We had to wait, and then we fucking froze it, so we had to wait even longer.
What's this wee shit? You got a mouse in your pocket, dude? Like
I was trying to fucking get you.
who's the wily veteran that said, "Don't put that in the freezer. It's gonna fucking freeze."
Dude, you got to put it in the freezer because, like, if you put it in the fridge, it'll take like 9 hours to cool off.
Well, who's the one
Literally.
that said that? And then who's the one about 4 hours later?
It wasn't that long. It was just, it was actually great. I took it out, put it on the counter, tried to get your attention to come in the kitchen to drink some of it. You were busy jamming, which I'm not going to stop you from doing that because I'm not that kind of person. And then, so I was like, okay. And then after we had like a little bit, like I put it back in the freezer because I was like, well, I don't want to just sit down on the counter, you know? So I should have put it in the fridge, but, you know, we were kind of a couple sheets to the wind probably at that point. So
speaking of, me and Gus, we were on a heater there, come up with a fucking pretty cool little song.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's pretty much done. I mean, you just
I
got
was
to
gonna say little tweaks.
really
Malachi threw a line in there that really just kind of fits, and we about got it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to do a little instrumental cleanup, but I mean, I think the lyrics are there.
Well, that's why we're gonna rough track it at your casa, and
Yeah.
and then play with it, and then can't wait to hear it. I got it. It came out exactly like I wanted it to, like the way I had it in my head, and then everything came together the other night, and we got to practice it and everything, and it sounded just like I wanted it to.
I was like, what is going on in here? And I walked in, I was like, ooh. And I just started playing.
Well, Big Country's been I'd take a little time off, and not really time. I don't know what you call it.
But, step back for a moment.
I guess. But started trying to finish some songs and write some songs and learn.
Well, hey, that's important.
Learn to finger pick and kind of getting there.
All those things are important. You know, there needs to be, if you want to be an original band, you got to focus at some point on writing. And
well, you know, like I've told you, it's no secret really, and I think told a few other people around and stuff, but I just kind of keep getting shoved in one direction. Not necessarily shoved, but you just get so busy, and the next thing you know, you have time to breathe, and you look up, and it's like, fuck, how do we get here? Now I'm not focusing on stuff that I initially wanted to focus on, you know, like.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you know, the song, the originals, and all that good stuff, and kind of lose the creative part out of it. And
well, we got so busy for a while, just playing shows and
which is,
that.
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse sometimes. I guess any musician will tell you that. Sometimes, I mean, I've talked to quite a few of them over just the past month or so. You know, just kind of venting a little bit, and and it would be somebody asking how it was going, or why I wasn't at a show or in a picture or whatever, so it was I explained to him, like, I'm still there. I'm just kind of doing this, that, kind of, got a little burned out, whatever.
I think it happens to everybody.
And yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Especially if you play shows all the time, that's probably got to get kind of
some people have
monotonous.
more piss and vinegar than I do. Some, like you guys are ready to go 100 miles an hour, and that's fine. I'm not trying to hold you guys back,
Well, my main focus, I mean, it's for some time now has been on original music because I think that's the next step for the band is, we're not a cover band, although we play some covers at this juncture,
which is ironic because the whole premise behind our name of our band is because we can play quite a few covers.
and we're never not going to be able to do that, but
Right.
I think like for us to go out there with all original sets and just kill it is definitely always been a goal for me personally.
Well, and I like the fact now that we get to be a little pickier with the songs that we do cover and really fucking tune into them and make them our own, Eddie Rabbit, and I like Cedartown, Georgia by Waylon. I really like the way that we do that one, especially when everybody's just on and it's just grooving.
Oh yeah, it's sounding better and better. I swear every time we play it, it sounds better.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started playing it, it just sounded like, kind of dull and just not like it's missing something or something,
It's kind of nice that, we have those in the repertoire where, okay, this one's starting to get a little stale, but we don't have to keep playing that one because we know so much more, or we're gaining more originals or whatever. Yeah, we can, like to me, Folsom Prison, love that song, love it to death. One of my favorite fucking songs ever. But it gets a little old playing,
Right. It's almost to the point of like wagon wheel for me now, what I mean?
Yeah, and everybody plays it. Every fucking buddy plays it. I think they when we went down to Canes and watched Riley Green and Travis Denning guy,
they played it.
both fucking bands played that night, and almost every band you go watch to cover it or watch, any band is gonna fucking cover it almost. And,
and I almost think that's kind of like
and
more so than the song. I think, Derrick, that's more about, hey, this is the kind of stuff we enjoy,
Right. But I think there's so many other Johnny Cash songs that we get into, that we fucking like, and I
Hurt
think, well, Malachi brought up Cocaine Blues, and we've done Walk the Line. Was it Walk the Line? I can't remember. There was a few of them that we've done.
Ring of Fire.
Yeah, Ring of Fire. Yeah, that's the one because I tried to play harp on it, which I actually kind of come around to playing it, which is kind of fun to play when you figure it out. But
what I like that our focus is like shifted a little bit. It makes it more difficult, I will add.
Yeah.
To really break down the mechanics of each track and go, this is how it should be, or this is how we want it to be, and really play it into the ground until we get a product that we're like, yes, this is what we envisioned, and we're slowly getting there. It's good, and it takes a while, especially if you're gigging. It's like a double-edged sword where, you kind of have to focus on gigging, for money, and at the same time, you have to start stashing money away, and continuing to work on original projects. That way you can book more shows and grow as a musician. Right. It's such a weird teeter-totter,
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's easy to go one way or the other, like, oh, we're going to focus on the studio, but then you go, well, how are we going to pay for it? Or, hey, we're playing so many shows, I really want to focus on writing. And it's kind of like, well, it's kind of an odd teeter-totter.
And especially being how we're, pretty new in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, recording and doing all that, and we're figuring out the growing pains in doing that in recording, and hitting the studio and getting the sound, and just like you said, trying to juggle all that. And You know, it's funny how you take, and I think I've mentioned this before on here. And I know I've mentioned it to you, but it's like steps. You know, at first, when we very first started, it was like, okay, yeah, we'll play for some beer. You know, we'll play for a $50 tab. We're just going to be sitting around and drinking anyway, so we might as well go to the bar and fucking play.
Right.
Well, then it turned into, well, shit, man, people fucking like this, so let's
come out to our barn or garage or something.
and then it turned into, okay, we can make $100 at doing this, you know.
Yeah, I remember how good that felt. You know,
Then it turned into, let's try to get out here. Let's try to get to here and here. And Wichita was kind of the next big step, you know. After we played in the area, we played a lot of country bars, you know. And then it was like, well, everybody likes us here, but Wichita's that's the big thing, you know. That's where the money's at. So that was our step.
a lot of different fans, you know. Like
Then it turned into fucking, you know, recording was the next step, and getting the band and all this, and it's just little steps. And
it's a lot to figure out.
I really figure out where I was going with that, but
it's quite a journey, and all the problems that you run into along the way, you know, as you're kind of growing, and you know, whether you know you have a 9-volt battery die and something on a guitar, and you're like, well, now we need to start packing extra batteries, and just those little nuances that you learn along the way. You know, have a cord go bad, well, it's probably a good idea to have a spare, you know, or our sound, like our speakers are fucked up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Oh, fucking 5 40-foot cables for fucking $15. Hell yeah. And all that turned into is a bag full of shit that just wouldn't work. They were like one-time use, and then you throw them away. But yeah, it's just shit like that.
How do I haul all the shit around, you know, or how, you know, pack it into a car or whatever you can do. And it's just, there's so many little things that you learn, and we're still learning. And I don't think any musician ever really stops learning.
Oh no! Now we're kind of at the point where we're trying to learn the booking, you know, and really get good at that and get out.
That and our live sound, I think we're trying to hone that in really well too, because it's a lot to manage when you're trying to play a live show, and now you have a 5 or 6 piece band, and you have so many channels of you know, audio coming through, you know, all the way down to feedback and you know, making somebody sound more crisp.
And also, you know, it came with and Dan Carmichael is the veteran guy with us, you know. He's the one that's been doing this shit for like 40 years, so it's good to have him too. I think he's helped us out exponentially by saying, you know, just little shit like, you guys quit playing, don't play for this much, you guys were worth way more than that, or this is, you know, kind of keeping us in line. And also, like, since I started playing with him, I think the first time that we played a show together, I got drunk and crazy. I mean, I was just fucking drunk playing at 3Bs, and he'd made a comment about, like, we can't be getting that drunk, you know, like how actually I don't think he said it to us. I think he said it just
in general.
Yeah, like, bands think that, you know, use it as an excuse to go up there and just get hammered, wasted, and you can't do that as a professional musician. It's a terrible thing to do, and it is, and
it's frowned upon for sure.
Since then, I've played most of the shows are you know, have a couple beers or none at all,
right?
And, you know, whether that be sober October or
I think the beginning, though,
just by
it was
choice.
More about just being nervous, and
that was a lot of it. That really was understanding how much you can drink up there without looking like an asshole or falling over. I about ate shit off a stage one time right into a table of about fucking 6 people.
That was one of the best nights you ever played, I think. In hindsight.
Well, what happened was, it started off was me and Malachi. I think we had played at Jerry. I know it was at Jerry's, but I think we had played down there. Well, we hung around and we were drinking with some friends, and I think you were actually playing with us, but you had left, I think, if I remember right.
Maybe.
They wanted us to get back up there and play a few more songs, so we went back up and we played. What song was it by the Turnpike Troubadours?
7-7 or something.
No, it was. I think it was Diamonds and
Diamonds and
Gasoline.
Gasoline?
They're Leaving It Lonely. I think
Leaving It Lonely.
something like that. It was a slower song, but I had fucking drank so much Jaeger. I was so drunk by that point, and I was like, and I even told everybody, I was like, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'm pretty drunk, and I just belted it out, and it was like the best to that point that I'd ever fucking played. And then so that's where the Jaeger thing came from. Was like, well, shit, like. Had about 8 shots of Jaeger, so maybe I just need to take each shot or two before I go up and play, and then maintain that throughout the whole thing. And then, but I figured out now that it was just nerves and
yeah. I mean, I don't get near as nervous these days, because I feel more prepared than I was back then. You know, practicing and just really repetition with the songs that we play. You know,
well, and another thing is I've just I've watched Malachi get fucked up there and forget shit, or you forget shit, or you know, booze just does not help you out. And
no, you want to have a pretty clear mind.
At the time, you think you're lighting it on fire, but most of the time, and maybe I mean some people maybe it does help you, but I know I figured out over the course of a couple years that don't really need to always play drunk.
Definitely not the most professional thing you can do.
Sometimes, but like I said, like 3Bs, that's encouraged there. Hell, the fucking patio.
Yeah, that's
buying
one
you
of those.
shots.
That's one of those places, kind of like where we started. You know, with Jerry's, where you can just let loose a little bit. Everybody's there to people there, and you know it's going to sound good. Probably regardless, but you know it's not a high pressure situation like some of these other places we play. You know, just feel kind of at home there. And
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and it's usually a lot of family and friends there.
Exactly, they've heard you way worse before. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and they wouldn't give a shit either way. You know, they know our nature. You know, is drinking, fun loving. They're not going to get pissed off if we get too drunk and have a bad show.
I do think we do one thing very well. We get people buying booze in the venue that we're at.
Well, we do, but that was that
to me that's one of the biggest
that came from playing in them, you know, country bars and coming up that way. That was the way that we had to get our job back, you know, like
right.
Like we had to be the most. That's why we don't play too many sad songs. We don't play too many slow songs because we figured out that that's whenever, regardless that, you know, Malachi can sing the shit out of some sad songs. You know, he has that voice. But every time we'd play him, man, people would get up and leave like they were just there to party. And I mean, I guess fucking party we shall. Like we'll just get rowdy with it and have a good time with you. And you know, it sucks that Malachi didn't get to display his voice that way. But
then again,
you know,
that's for some of the solo stuff, you know, where you can go to somewhere like a coffee shop and kind of play that stuff. And
that's true too, you know.
But definitely found that we need to, like, I think we're really limiting the slow songs that we play to originals mainly, and that's because there are originals. We're gonna fucking play them, you know.
Right.
We're proud of them.
Oh, and I think it's also different. I think you get a different connection between you and the crowd when you play something from the heart. You know, something you wrote, something you put time into. People are going to listen to it more than if you start playing a really slow song. You know, whatever song it is. If you start covering something,
right,
half the crowd's going to get up and leave more often than not, or most of them. If you're playing just a cover song, slow song,
that's like where they go take a cigarette break or something.
But I think if you say, you know, if you announce, hey, we're playing, this is one of our originals, give them one of your stories, you know, how it came about, and then you fucking people tune into that because they want to hear you. Like people are curious about people, you know, like they want to know your business, and in a weird way, I think when you play one of your songs like that slow, they're going to tune in. They're more receptive to an original rather than a cover.
And really, we're do pretty good about surrounding those sorts of things with really upbeat songs as well, you know, right before and right after.
Yeah, that's
That
another
helps.
thing is we've kind of tuned in a set list too, you know. Over how long has it taken?
What, 3 or 4 years at least?
Shit, we didn't even used to use one.
We still kind of don't, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yo,
we did
it's
right.
definitely improvised.
Yeah.
More
Even
of a
today, like we don't follow it
more of a
necessarily.
suggestion than a guideline.
Right. Here's your basket to choose from.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that kind of plays into our name, Brother Jukebox, in the sense that, well, what's the crowd feeling? What's the crowd want to hear out of the jukebox? You know.
Yeah, and man, Gus can do it, dude. He can fucking pick that shit out. He knows how to, you know, pick them and play them right. And there's times I'm like, dude, don't play that song. No, we can't do that. Fuck it, why not? Ding, 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 and he'll start going, and everybody starts raising hell. Okay, we did that at Aeroplanes when we were playing one of those benefits. I don't think you were there. Could have
No.
been. And anyway, he wanted to play David Allan Coe. You want to play You Don't Have to Call Me Darling?
That's a
I
good
was
song,
like,
though.
it is, but I was like, I thought Aeroplanes, you know, like it didn't seem like the crowd for that, but he was very adamant about playing it. I was like, I don't know. He's like, fuck it, and he just started playing it. I swear to God, about 10 seconds into that, man, everybody was just up, hollering, having a good time. I would have never guessed to play that. So I was, you know, I just kind of air to him whatever he wants to play it. He's the one that's got to sing it. I just play harmonica. I'm just a pretty face up there.
So speaking of harmonica, Derrick, we last week we went and tracked one of our original songs that we wrote a little while back, and also on Sunday we cleaned up some of our other originals that were kind of tracked already, and just
I
making
didn't.
sure they're where we want them to be. But
I didn't make it out there for that one, but for the Sunday to clean them up. But you sent me one track, sounded pretty good.
yeah, definitely molding into a new sound for sure. And it's kind of interesting going back and putting, you know, some lead in some of our older songs and stuff like that. That way it makes it seem more uniform across the board. Because from the first time we started recording tracks, you know, from Gone Away and Train Song, I mean, we've added what? We subtracted 1 and added 3.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more sound happening.
It's a whole different deal going on now. But yeah, the recordings they sound there's a lot more pop in them, dude. There's a little catch you by the collar and make you listen to it, I think.
And I'm kind of curious as to what we're going to end up doing, whether we're going to do like a 6-song EP or if we're going to stretch it out and get to an album. I think it's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
But we're well on our way regardless.
I think that you know, when we feel it's right, we'll just release what we have. And I mean, we could probably release an EP right now if we wanted to.
Yeah, I think we have it recorded.
If we wanted to, if we, you know, that's an option. If we want to wait another 6 months and put another 4 or 5 songs in there, fucking, I don't know. Whatever feels right. That's what we've always kind of done, is just do what feels right.
I think it kind of we got to see what we have together sounds all together, I think, at this point. And
you know, that point kind of brings me to you know, I think we've learned a lot from that shit too, is we've forced stuff before, and it doesn't seem to work out when we tend to force it or do what we should do, quote unquote. You know, like, oh, this is how we should do it. This is what we should do. This is how it should sound. Never quite works out, but it's kind of when we'll all come around to an idea or a sound or something, and it just kind of, it's not planned. It just kind of comes together, and then it feels right, and then we do it, whatever it may be, like the releasing an EP or an album or writing a song or anything like that. It's that's one of those growing things that we were just talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that our album or EP or whatever we're doing, it's very, from where we started till now, it's so night and day that it's just not.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so night and day.
we've grown through a lot of changes in that time. Like you said, lost one, gained three members. And that was, we recorded two with just our when we had a cajon player, and gained a drummer, and then Dan on bass and Jeremy on guitar, and you've thrown in some slide and stuff here. You're learning some stuff, and Malachi's definitely growing. Playing some lead stuff, and it's just evolving into something bigger. And
yeah, we're not just some acoustic band anymore, really.
No, and but I think the beautiful thing is that, and we've shown it the last month or two, is that we really can. We're pretty versatile. And the fact that, Malachi can sit down in the coffee shop, and I haven't heard him, but I assume he does well because they keep asking him back. And
yeah, I went there with him last Friday.
He plays Kirby's a lot. He plays Kookaburra a lot.
Yep.
He played Fredo's. He's been getting a lot of solo stuff, which is a good thing.
Well, it helps him out and helps him upgrade what he's doing, if he needs more gear or something like that. But
the thing is, you guys will come set in. Brian will come set in on cajon with him on some of those shows, and Jeremy will come set in. And I've been meaning to go set in with him and play some harmonica with him, but
yeah, I went last Friday and played at Kookaburra with Brian and Malachi, and well, by God, they invited us right back the next week. So
right.
That's where we're going to be this Friday.
Yeah, and I always like those shows stripped down a little bit. I think that helps you grow. It's got to help you grow, because I know when me and Gus played, I don't remember. We played at 3B's one night, just kind of fucking around, and it was so weird because I was used to having the whole band around. Well, then it was back to square one when it was just me and Malachi, and you can't fuck up like you can when you got
right.
Everybody hears your harmonica. They're just a guitar, a voice, and a harmonica, and fucking you can hear that harmonica when you miss one, dude. So it's kind of fun.
And you're forced to go back to the basic mechanics of everything, and
right, because now I don't have to hardly play. But when I do play, I got to make it count. I got to hit the shit just right. But whenever there's just an acoustic guitar, you got to feel a little bit more sound, and you got to play a little bit more rhythmic, and it's just a whole different style of playing from one to the other, and it's a lot of fun just dusting that off.
Right.
Plus, it's myself, I just enjoy just acoustic, one or two, three people just in general, like I just like the cleaner sound and more the ambiance of acoustic and singer-songwriter stuff like that. So it's fun to get back and just do that.
Yes, it is. Speaking of fun, Derrick, here in just a few, we're going to get with Acme Rock Co., one of our finalists for the top 10.
Hell yeah.
They're just now getting on our radar this year. We have one track from them that we're about to play. And I guess on the other end, we'll be hanging out with them. So, Derrick, you ready for the song?
I am, man.
All right, so we're going to play Can't Live Without Your Love by Acme Rock Company.
I lay awake, rest bed. I can't erase you from my head. The memories are just too much. I know I can't go on without your touch. There ain't no doubt about it. I just can't live without it. There ain't no doubt about it. Can't live without your love. I know it's late.
So we're back. We just listened to Can't Live Without Your Love by Acme Rock Co. We're happen to be hanging out with them right now, as a matter of fact. We're hanging out with Randall and Mike. So what's up, guys?
Good. What's happening?
Oh, just hanging out, listening to some music, talking about randomness,
Right.
Yeah. If you listen to the podcast, it's very random.
It's
It
not
is
much
random.
structure. Not much structure at all. It's just kind of talking.
That's kind of the fun part about it, though. So we recently got you guys' music on our radar. Let's see. You guys sent it to us in August of this year. I know we got it and immediately featured you guys on one of our podcasts, on one of our previous episodes. And here we are in December. And you guys are finalists on the top 10 countdown for December. So, that's a very short window to come in. And I think we talked about it briefly when we first started doing this year. There's probably bands we don't have yet that are going to make the finals. And well, here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate it. We were honored to be part of the podcast, and we've listened to a lot of really great local music on your show.
That's good to hear.
So how long you guys been working at this? How long you guys been together?
I think this project we've been working on these songs for about a year now. Randy and I played together in another band. It was a cover band doing a lot of progressive rock called Theorosis Bridge, and we were together for several years around the local area here. And when we split up, we kind of each went our separate ways for a while, and then this project came back together. Randy was playing with our drummer Greg Brown, and they invited me in, and we all just started really kind of focusing more on the original music and that type of thing. So it's been about a year now that we've been working on these songs, and we're working on a full-length record, hopefully, to finish for next year.
It's awesome. So we got one track. I don't know. I know you guys probably thought we were poking fun at you guys on our podcast. We weren't. And actually, Derrick and I briefly talked about it just a little bit ago, where, you know, kind of reminded us of a time in the past, you know, in all of our lives. And Derrick had mentioned that, you know, we weren't poking fun at you guys. It was like he said that those were the good times, you know.
Right.
You know, kind of reminded us of some, you know, really good times in our life, and I think that's an important part of music, where, you know, you just sound so different than everybody you're surrounded by. I mean, I think that's a big important part of music today.
Well, that's cool. Thank you for the compliment. We you know, we all kind of grew up listening to a lot of music from the 70s. That was a pretty prolific time in the music that we grew up listening to, and we're probably older than some of the guys in the competition, you know, and that music really influenced us. So we take it as a compliment that you guys, you know, think that it sounds maybe similar to a day gone by. We look at that as a good thing, really.
Yeah, I do too. And I think, you know, if you're a good band, that you kind of trigger things in people's minds, you know, memories or different things that they've experienced. And instead of just some cookie cutter music that's out there today, you know, you guys kind of really have that spark, in my opinion. And honestly, we don't have anything like you guys. So, I mean, we really look for that. That's a big thing we look for. And really, we're just huge proponents in supporting local music. I mean, there needed to be that, and that's why we started what we do. But yeah, definitely, you guys are on your whole different spectrum, so to speak. And I really, really enjoy your guys' music. So you guys have been at it for about a year. And briefly earlier, we talked about kind of growing as a group, you know, ourselves. What kind of things have you guys went through since you started playing, you know, about a year ago? You know, have you guys experienced a lot of growth pains or anything in particular you can think of?
Well, finding a bass player is always a challenge.
Amen. Amen.
But we got the guy we like. Rick's a hell of a bass player, so.
So I got to ask, you guys playing very many shows, or are you kind of focusing on writing right now?
You know, we really haven't. We've really, you know, we started out with this thing just writing music together and really woodshedding, and so we've really focused on that. We've got 10 or 12 songs that we really wanted to get recorded, and so we haven't been out playing live. Randy and I were talking about that the other day, and the other guys as well. And it's something that we anticipate and look forward to next year, to being able to go out and play these songs and play some live shows. But really, this last year has been pretty focused on just writing and getting arrangements like we wanted them, so that we could get the recording process started. So that's what we're really trying to get done this winter is you know, to get the rest of the tracks done and kind of get, you know, a body of work done so that we can go out and play some shows and play. We're hoping to really go out and play mostly original material and maybe throw a few covers in for fun and for people's likability. But that's kind of what we've been doing. So we really haven't focused on the live part of it yet.
I think that's all right.
So you guys say, you know, you've been doing it for a year. What are some of the places that you have played in, and do you have a bucket list venue that you'd like to, you know, play within the, you know, in the near future?
Yeah, I'd love to play at the Cotillion. It's like it's my favorite place. I've seen a ton of great shows there, and I've never got to play out there. Randy and I have both played at a lot of local venues. We've all been in a lot of different bands at one point or another, and we played the Murdoch Theater last year, and we've played out at the casino out at the there at Mulvane. Kansas Star, and of course, a lot of the local clubs and things like that. The venues have changed so much, and places that we played 3 years ago aren't even around now, and there's a lot of new venues. So yeah, there are actually, it looks to me like maybe it's starting to kind of go back in the other direction, and there's starting to be some better venues to play at. So we're looking forward to hopefully doing that next year. But the Cotillion would be on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah, that's usually our number one answer.
Yeah, that's a
We asked
pretty
that
popular,
question.
pretty popular one.
So,
it's such a cool
you guys
place, man.
mentioned you've been in some previous bands. What are those bands? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was in the original Rain years ago, and then a band called F5. It was kind of a progressive rock cover band. And then, of course, Theorosis Bridge that Mike just talked about, probably the most popular bands I've been in.
I was in another group called Blind Ambition here in town, and then Theorosis Bridge. Those are the two last bands that I was in here in town. I lived. I'm from here in Wichita, but I lived in Las Vegas for almost 20 years, and so I played in several groups out there, both original and cover bands. And so nobody would know the names of those groups around here, but we've all been doing it for a number of years. So
Our bass player is currently in about 4 other bands.
yeah,
So is
Most,
ours.
Probably most
Aren't they
notable
all?
is Epic.
yeah,
Hi,
yeah, they
Epic.
are right.
Just in case you all are listening.
Yeah, Rick Shirley's band is Epic, and they play
Okay.
locally a lot. And then Greg Brown, our drummer, has played he's played with Randy in some groups, and was kind of out of music for a while, but really is a great drummer and really a good guy to play with.
So you say you did some stuff in Las Vegas. How would you compare the scene in Las Vegas to what's going on now in Wichita?
Well, they're pretty vastly different. I mean, I think there's finally starting to be some good things happening here. Back in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of great venues, and I think places really were geared more toward live entertainment. And now it seems like, or at least for a while anyway, it kind of went away, and it seems like there weren't as many places to play, and bar owners were really focused more on having karaoke and other types of things for entertainment. And the live scene kind of became a secondary kind of thing. Bar owners weren't putting in stages. They weren't putting in places that really would attract bands and vice versa. So that was the upside in Las Vegas was that there were, of course, a lot of venues to play at out there, and a really good original scene out there. There's a lot of good original music in Nevada and California. And of course, Vegas attracts a lot of that, coming out of California, and there's a lot of good venues to play. And there's also a ton of, lounge acts and a lot of that type of stuff in the casinos as well. So it's a pretty saturated market. And so our scene is a little different here in terms of, the volume, but it seems like we're kind of starting to head back the other way with the Wave and some of these other places that are happening. It seems like it's kind of starting to be, a better scene again.
I totally agree. And when do you think that shift started to happen? I mean, is this something that's been, taken a decade to do, or is it pretty recent, the last 2 or 3 years that you think that's been going on?
Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of been more recent because I played a lot here in Kansas back in the 80s when I was in college and through the mid and the late 80s and even into the early 90s. And there were still a lot of good venues and a lot of places to play. And you could kind of go on a circuit. You could go all the way out to western Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and there were a lot of places to play back then. And then it seems like, to me anyway, it seems like sometime in the mid 90s that kind of shifted. And it's been, at least a decade or more that it kind of really has dropped off a lot. And it seems to me like in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe I've started to see the venues kind of change. bar owners and club owners seem to be kind of going back more toward, bringing in live entertainment and music and that kind of, and people seem to be more interested in it, than it was for a long time. So that's my take on it anyway.
So if you could change anything about the current status of the Wichita music scene, is there anything you would change?
Well,
loaded question.
Yeah, that is a loaded question. I'll tell you something. Through the podcast and listening, to the stuff that you guys have been doing, I have found out how much talent and how much good music is around this area that I didn't even know existed, because a lot of these bands I haven't heard and I haven't seen them in venues. And that tells me that, if the question is, what do we change? I'd still like to see a lot more venues that are geared toward, live music. I mean, you got to have a stage and a PA and a place to do it. And when bands come in and they get shoved into a corner, it makes it really difficult to put on a good show and to really bring people in and perform. And so, I'd love to see, the old days back when the Coyote Club and things like that were around. There were venues that really brought people in because they had a place for bands to perform. So listening to your program, I've seen listening to a lot of great local music. And it tells me that there's a lot more bands out there than there are places to play. So, I hope it continues to head in that direction, because there's a lot of good talent out there that I think is starving for a place to perform for people.
Original talent.
Yeah. Original music. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're constantly blown away by it,
Yeah.
getting music sent to us, and we're just like, wow, this is from Wichita.
Well, we're not
right.
seeing a lot of bands drop off either. It's a lot of those bands keep continuing, and other bands keep growing. New bands keep popping up too. So there's a lot of talent, a lot of and original talent, like you guys said.
Yeah, absolutely. I was amazed when we started listening to the countdowns. I was just amazed at not only the level of talent and how good a lot of the recordings were, but the variety, all the different types of music that are going on around here is like, wow, there's really a lot of really talented people here, and these groups are actually really good.
Yeah, I
Right.
think there's a lot of freedom in what you can play around here, because we're in, I don't even know what kind of country or bluegrass or whatever the hell we're put in.
Right.
But,
Right.
we played with, rock bands and all sorts of different genres, and everybody seems receptive to it no matter what, and kind of allows you to be free with what you decide to do. I think that's pretty important too.
Yeah, I think we have a really diverse group of people that are listening here. I mean, you've got bluegrass and you've got, rock and I mean, a little bit of everything. I'm finding out, going out, just being involved in running sound and lights with a friend of mine around the area, around the state, that there are just a really diverse bunch of people out there that are starving for music and want to listen. And you're right. I mean, it's everything from bluegrass to, the other super heavy side of it, and everything in between. And there are a lot of people out there that really dig it,
You're right about that. And we talk about the talent level that's in Wichita, and what's gonna, we're kind of limited in what we can do because of our population, and you talked about Las Vegas and how it's just completely different, and possibly due to just population. What do you think is going to take Wichita to that next level? That Austin or that Nashville. What's gonna propel Wichita to that next level?
Man, I hope that at some point we get it together with the downtown area and the river and the things that we have here in Wichita that are what those other cities seem to attract and make people, Austin's got the whole Keep Austin Weird thing, and it's like a little Nashville down there, and San Antonio's got the river, and we've got a river and a downtown area that used to not exist, with Old Town and some of that. So, I hope that Wichita continues to develop as a community that can attract people to come here, for lots of reasons, entertainment, of course, being one of them. But I mean, the better we can get on the map, with our downtown area and something that ties the river, to our downtown area, which I know they've been trying to develop this forever and a day, but I'm hoping at some point that takes and it starts to become more popular with people outside the city, and that they see that and they come here for entertainment and other things while they're here.
I think that's probably the biggest thing, is attracting people from outside the city and for them to realize what's going on here. I mean, realize the talent level and realize that the scene is thriving. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So where are you guys recording at? Are you guys recording here in town or?
We're recording in my garage.
Oh.
Well, hell yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
for your
that sounds
garage.
good.
Damn.
With a bunch of used SM57s from a pawn shop.
There you
Hey.
go.
Hey, them damn good mics, man.
I know
Right.
it. Overheads, everything.
We've run into a couple people like that. A couple bands and artists that it's like, where'd you guys record at? And just in the garage. So,
Yep.
You would
But I
never
know
know.
that's
Yeah,
the
sounds-
garage reverb on that.
sounds super good. So
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, Randy's a really good. He's a good engineer, and he's got a nice space out at his house that's kind of converted to a studio, and we've just tried to take advantage of it as much as we can, and he's done a really good job behind the board. So we're making the most of what we've got.
So you guys mentioned that you kind of have a sound that, brings you back to a previous time, or, a different feel from in the past. What are some of those influential artists maybe that you're emulating or that you're drawing, your influence from?
Oh, I don't know. I just grew up listening to all the classic rock, Zeppelin, Hendrix, Cream, and then it just kind of grew from there. And so I think with this recording, when I showed this song to Mike, he thought there was kind of a Boston vibe to it. So I listened to a bunch of Boston before I recorded it. So yeah.
Man, I love Boston.
Yeah. And so, yeah, just, classic rock.
Right. It does have that vibe for sure.
So what's your guys'
you got some more stuff you're getting ready to record, or are you putting out an EP
Oh, yeah.
or a full-length album?
There'll probably be an EP first. And yeah, we've got some more. We've got plenty of material. So just getting around the time to recording it. Yep. So there's enough material for a couple CDs. So it's coming. So, and we're in the middle of one right now. So it should be right after the holidays.
good deal.
Right on.
what's your guys' writing process like? Does one person in particular kind of write most of it and everybody kind of fills their part in, or is it like a collaborative process, or how do you guys do it?
Well, I've got a bunch of songs kind of already lined up, and Mike's got a few, and then we started collaborating, and it's been great. So some of the best stuff is yet to come that Mike and I have both collaborated on. But usually, I come up with just a couple parts that I think sound cool and go together, and then try to make up some lyrics, and then I'll hit a block or something. I'll give it to Mike, and he'll finish it up, and it's working really good. It's pretty simple, actually.
Well, that's good.
Must be nice.
A lot of times people struggle writing. People think, oh, I don't like that part, or somebody comes up with an idea that they really like, and not everybody's all on board, and and I think the studio recording process is totally different in the sense that you can perform live a bunch, and then you go into the studio, and sometimes people want to wring each other by the necks. Just like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, and there is some of that. I mean, I think when you find a group of guys that you really like and you like working with them, it's maybe a little bit easier to compromise and find the groove on things. It's one of the things, like what you just said is true. I mean, we spent quite a few months just playing these songs live as a band, just with each other in the room, to work out parts and arrangements. And then it makes it a little bit easier when you get to the studio, because you've kind of got things worked out, as opposed to, I know a lot of people, write while they're recording, and they do a lot of things while they're actually there in the studio that they hadn't done live. And I think we've kind of gone the other way. We've kind of reverse engineered it. We've worked these songs out pretty well live, and then now we're trying to figure out how to get them recorded, and it's the parts are all there. It's just always a matter of, getting good sounds and good takes, and then of course, there's a lot of time involved getting things mixed, and so we write pretty well together. All the guys in the band are really capable of contributing, and they do, and they've got their own take on things. And I think so far we've all been pretty willing to compromise with one another. And Randy's come in with a lot of songs that have been, have really, the meat of it's there, and it's just a matter of adding a verse or tweaking a chorus or something. And I've come in with some songs as well. And so we're just trying to kind of find our way in the studio now that we've kind of got them played live. So it's heading in the right direction. I think if we can kind of stay on track, we're hoping that we're hoping to have a full length album, finished next year. We've got a couple of songs, recorded, and we're starting to work on the others now. So it's a process.
So you're talking about that writing and recording process. The track that we have of your guys, and we have in rotation at ict-radio.com, do you find that when you play that song live, because you have been in the studio with that song, do you find that that's your tightest song, or that, you play that one a little bit better because you have been in the studio?
Oh, I don't know. That song, it seems to almost kind of play itself.
Because of the studio process?
Maybe the drummer just kind of mentioned that. It was just, the band just clicked on it, and a lot of people seem to like it a lot, the vibe or something. So that's why we decided to do that one first. It just seemed to touch a lot of people. So we thought that would be a good one. But I think our best stuff's still coming. So a lot of heavier stuff, bluesier stuff, and, a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I know that.
Right. So I got to ask, you guys have been at this for a little while, and you've been in previous bands and stuff like that. What kind of advice would you offer, some really green musicians who are just kind of getting their feet wet and getting started? Any words of wisdom that you would give them, or things to avoid?
Play with people that you like. It's it's so hard to get 4 or 5 guys together and agree on things. And that, for me, out of all the years that I've been playing, I just find that when you find guys that you actually like outside the band room, it makes a huge difference. It's so much easier to agree on what you're going to play and how you're going to play it. And being around good people makes all the difference in the world. You can put a bunch of really good players in a room together, and if you got too many egos and too many different directions, it becomes pretty difficult to stay together and play. So I think that for me personally, that's the one thing is, if you're lucky enough to find cats that you really like, and they're good people, and you get along with them, I think it makes a huge difference in being able to play music together.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. I can vouch for that, exactly that situation.
Yeah, it's difficult. You want to play with the best musicians you can play with, and I've certainly been in bands where I played with guys that were really good players, but were so difficult to get along with that, it's sort of a waste of time when you get going and you get all these things happening, and then you find out that you can't get along with the guy across from you, and then you've put in a bunch of time and effort, and nothing good happens from it. So I don't know. There's a lot of things, but I think that for me is always the most important. I like the guys that I play with. We're all friends, and we like one another, outside of playing music. So that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's important.
Well, and to your point, I think when you're around people that you like and you mesh well with, you're having fun, and I think that energy falls out into the crowd, and they feed off of that, and it goes back and forth because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, very true. People, they can tell whether, you're having fun or not. And that's, really, I mean, that's the biggest, that's really the big thing about this. We play music, right, because, we love it and it's a fun thing, and it's in your soul, and that comes across to people whether you're faking it or not. And,
Right.
you're absolutely right.
Sorry, I'm sitting here.
So, where can everybody find your music? Or you got any shows coming up?
No shows on coming up yet.
Okay.
Hopefully next year. So, but yeah, we're on Facebook, Acme Rock Company.
All right. Do you guys have any more questions?
So I got one question. So you guys are in the finals. Why should people vote for you?
Hopefully because they like the song.
And I think we just talked about it earlier today on some post or something, but people can request your song anytime.
Right.
And, hear it.
There was a Facebook post asking about that. Where can we hear Acme Rock Company's music at? And I got right on there and said ict-radio.com, and you can request it at any time.
That's right. And we'll be posting our other music on your site too. You guys are doing a great job. So
Cool.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Love doing it.
Much appreciated. You guys have really done a great job with this deal, and I think it's brought a lot of attention to local music. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have, like I said, hadn't heard these bands, and I think you guys have done a really good job promoting it, and we're very thankful for it.
Well,
so keep doing what you're doing.
You're very welcome. We've been heard in over 130 countries now.
Yeah.
Wow.
All 50 states. We're trying to get Antarctica
Nice.
on the map there. So
And North Korea.
North Korea. There's the other one. We got two unicorns we're trying to catch there, and
May have to airdrop a cell phone in there or something.
Right.
Don't know.
Right. Very cool. Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys sending music our way too. So I think it works both ways when the artists are on board and the artists are doing the hard work. We just kind of throw it out there for people to listen to. So
we really get a kick out of hearing our song on the radio. So
Right.
yeah, it's a pretty good feeling. Like we know that from experience too. Even our own radio, it's still hearing our band on it is something cool about it. So
right, there's some payoff there for sure, and
right.
we definitely will send you guys. We'll send you guys the next single as soon as we get it done. We've got a lot of the tracks done on it, and hopefully we'll get it mixed in January and have something here fairly shortly for people to listen to as well. And we'll send it to you guys as soon as we get it done. So we really appreciate everything you guys are doing and all the promotion too. And again, we've got the Facebook page as well for Acme Rock Co. So if anybody wants to go out and check that out, at least maybe, and we're trying to promote you guys too. So hopefully it works both ways.
Right. Go give them a like. Go to their community page. Invite all your friends.
Right on.
All you listeners, go do it
right now.
Thank you guys for sitting down with us and talking to us, and looking forward to hearing that new track.
And seeing you guys play whenever you guys decide to
let
get
us
a
know.
show together.
We'd like to come out and say hi to you and meet you and have a beer with you.
Yeah,
Awesome. Sounds good.
Definitely. We will keep you guys posted, and thank you very much for having us. We appreciate it.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was a good interview, man. I like that interview. We want to thank Acme Rock Company again, and
well, if you like their music, go vote for them.
We got a special guest that decided to hop in with us. None other than the Reverend himself, Mr. Seth Dugan.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Say hi to the fine people, Seth. Yeah, man, that was some pretty good insight on the on music and the local scene and all that. So,
yeah, and looking at the numbers that Eric has sent over, they are doing very well in the top 10 voting. So, Good
Not
for
gonna
them.
give away anything else, but yeah.
They're doing well.
If you
Well,
like
I
them,
see it.
vote for them.
I see him promoting like hell, so
Yep, and that's the key to it.
they're
You know,
working. They're working.
any of the bands out there listening, you know, you promote yourself and we promote you, and it's a win-win for everybody.
I agree.
Amen.
Yeah, kind of on that same note, since I was absent last week, I wanted to mention about in retrospect, and that was a great interview with them guys, and the hard work them guys put in. It's crazy, man. Just the artwork they have and the handwritten letters,
Right.
and just all around insight and stuff they have on music. They're hardworking dudes.
I did see something interesting that they had posted about them pulling some music off
I
of.
saw that as well.
I
Yeah,
saw
seen
that
that.
too.
Do you guys know what that's all about? Or?
I have no idea.
To me, I mean, from their interview, what I gathered was there's stuff that doesn't fit their current mold that they
okay.
probably just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
If somebody
Not there.
happens to stumble upon them, they want to be known for what they're doing right now. I guess that's what I picked up from it.
Yeah, I kind of thought that as well. I didn't know if you guys had heard anything about that or what that was all about, but for instance, Constellations, which is a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if that was part of that or.
Well, I think they're gonna remake it, so to speak, at some point. But really, I just think that they're wanting to keep their current with echo.
What's that?
I don't know.
Echo,
But anyways,
echo.
I just think they want to keep their current sound out there, and I don't blame them. Like if you're wanting to go a certain direction, you don't want people stumbling across something that you don't want to put forward.
Right.
And I did actually get to hear some of their unreleased stuff. Nobody else has.
So
Yeah,
It's rocking, dude. It's the shit.
So during the break, I did stumble across a Facebook post by Capybara.
Oh, I seen
yeah?
that too.
Yeah, they've got some new stuff coming out, and it sounds like we're going to be exclusive on that at ict-radio.com. So looking forward to that.
Very exciting.
Cue the what's that fucking shit? Napoleon Dynamite.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So they just recorded that over at Magnitude Creative with Jason Catlett. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be killer. Can't wait to hear that.
Always is.
I was just sitting here refreshing my inbox on the email. Like, send it now? Are you going to send it now?
I wonder when it's coming. Hey, you guys got us all fucking excited.
I'm refreshing right now.
You know what we forgot to mention?
What?
Our sponsor.
Oh,
We didn't mention him in the first
What the
half.
heck?
I thought about that right in the middle of that interview. So we want to thank Norton's Brewing Company for sponsoring this podcast. Head on over to their Facebook page and look at all the delicious beer they got and food. I've seen like the Frito chili pie they had, I think, on special today.
They're making cinnamon rolls now from scratch.
Seen
Dude.
that.
Oh my God.
The fucking beer looks out of this world.
I think they've got a new beer coming out this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, I believe I've seen something on that.
Yeah, my wife was like, we need to go to Norton's.
Ooh.
And they've got something I really want to try. And I can't remember what
Is it Santa's special cookies?
That's it. That's the one. She said it had kind of a cinnamon and
Gingerbread. It's a CBD infused gingerbread sour.
That's it.
Sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Holy fuck, that sounds good.
Yeah, dude. So head on over there. When's that supposed to be released? This weekend?
The 15th at
Would that be Saturday?
they tap it Saturday And actually, you can bring your kids there because Santa's going to be there
Uh-oh.
Oh, hell yeah.
from
I'm gonna
12
get
to
in
2.
trouble.
What was the hours on that again?
Well, Santa's going to be at Norton's from 12 to 2 on the 15th. And they have CBD-infused gingerbread sour beer that they're tapping. So, man.
All right. Hold the phone. So you're telling me that I can get my kid to see Santa while I drink a new beer?
Yes, you can.
Yep. Yeah,
I
and you
mean,
can
Sounds
yeah,
like
you can
Seth's
find
going.
them at 125 North St. Francis in Wichita, Kansas. Give them a call at 316-425-9009. And make sure you tell Dan hi. He's the owner out there, and he is a big proponent of local music. So we want to thank Dan and Norton's Brewing Company for
And
sponsoring the podcast.
He's a good dude to talk to, too.
Yes, he is.
He likes you just stand around and talk, so he'll shoot shit with you, I'm sure.
Good beer.
Great beer.
I got to have that beer. That's it. I'm fucking going up there on Saturday.
It's so good, man. And
I'll
you
meet
know,
you there. I want to take my kid.
yeah, we're talking about doing the same thing.
You get 2 birds stoned at once.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you go over to their Facebook page and give them a like and, give them a 5-star rating because it does help us local businesses grow when, you rate us highly and especially go give them a visit. I mean, guys, we don't just say this because they're sponsoring us. We really do believe in our sponsors and especially Norton's Brewing Company. We love going there and sampling all the beers and hanging out. What a great place. The atmosphere there is just unmatched. And
Yeah, we do support it heavily. I could say that for sure that I spend a lot of money in that place. But it's always a good time. Every time it's a
always
good
worth it,
time. Good friendly service, great beer, great food, everything you want. So it's always a good time. I say that even if they weren't sponsoring us.
True.
right. Oh yeah.
I probably have. So yeah, man. So we didn't pick a song out. We were hoping we were going to get a song in that we did not. I don't even know if Eric sent off the email or not.
Yes, I did.
No, nothing back.
Not yet.
So I think the Reverend gets to pick what song we end this thing on.
Well, I tell you who I've been seeing a lot of social media buzz about lately and who's been playing a lot of shows is our old friend ICT Rock Girl, man.
There you go.
There you
So
go.
if you could send me something by ICT Rock Girl, I think that'd be fantastic.
I think we can do that.
We can pull that. And she you bring that up, and I can't remember the date, but I know that she's going to Los Angeles, California here coming up real soon. She's going to attend the NAMM, the NAMM conference, National Association of I say this now. I sound like an idiot. I look like an idiot too, but you can't see me. But yeah,
So
she's
hard on
attending
yourself,
the
Tim.
NAMM conference, and yeah, good stuff for her. And I know we don't really mention it all that much, but Maddie is 12 years old, and she's a phenomenal talent from here in Wichita. We wholly support everything she's doing, and the whole local music scene has, guys like Flashpoint and Fist and John Woodson's Leg. They are always letting her share the stage with them and play their music with them. And yeah, we just really expect big things from her. Wouldn't be surprised to see her on one of those nationally syndicated shows, like America's Got Talent or The Voice or something like that. I mean, she's just.
I figured out what NAMM stands for, National Association of Music Merchants.
There we go.
It was founded in 1901, if you're keeping score at home.
Wow. 1901?
Damn.
You learned something.
I
See,
did.
when this podcast ends, you can say, By God, I learned something today. I'm glad I listened to those guys.
Isn't that your goal for every day? To learn
Every
one
day.
thing.
See,
They usually learn a new word or something, but
the funny part is they probably
Or a
lost
new way
more
to use
brain. They probably lost some brain cells at the beginning of this here episode.
well,
So-
you got it back, baby. It's back.
Always strive to break even.
All right, so I think we got anything else to add, Rev? You got anything?
No, just
No.
remember the season, y'all. You know, it's that time of year again. Be sure to lend a helping hand to your neighbors and, to your fellow musicians.
Absolutely right.
Let the people that you love know that you love them. You know,
Couldn't have
that's
said
all I
it better
got. Non
myself.
parte filia spiritu sante, señoro.
What he said.
Yeah, that's a good point in Espanol.
I got one thing to say. Buckle your seatbelt, drink your milk, kiss your mama. If you
Kiss
have one.
Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah, don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah, because God knows we all need more fiber in our diet.
Don't shoot your eye out, kid. All right, we will see you guys next week. Here's some ICT Rock Girl for the road.
Enjoy.